We preview Auburn's matchup with the Cal Golden Bears on this live edition of the Uptempo Podcast. Yes, sir. Let's go, Auburn family, up-tempo gang, man. Hope everybody's blessed. I hope everybody's having a good week. Dustin Smith and Blake Lane back with another live edition of the Up-Tempo Podcast, previewing Auburn's big non-conference matchup with Cal, baby. We're returning the favor. We went out there last year. We stayed up till 2 in the morning. They got to come here this time, dude. We're fired up to get in here. Going to be a big weekend, Blake. I'm starting to see a lot of people are getting ready to head up to Auburn. I'm already got like a dozen people I'm planning on meet up with. The member chats popping. Looking forward to seeing everybody out at Tiger Walk. Our guy Thomas is going to be in town. Going to hang out with him. I'm excited, man. It feels like a reunion again. Last week, everybody, you had Alabama A&M come to town. It was the first game. It was all good. I know the atmosphere was still great, but this one feels like the first big game atmosphere of the year. I cannot wait to touch down at Auburn tomorrow, my guy.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'll be headed up Saturday morning, just ready to get inside Jordan Hare, man, and just feel that place one more time. Tiger Walk's going to be electric. This atmosphere is going to be electric. A big time game, I see the Twitter mentions are starting to, they're starting to roll on out there. Both teams, both fan bases starting to talk a little trash. And, one thing I do want to throw out there is, when I see a Cal fan say, oh, well, this stadium's not as loud as this stadium or what. Look, I've been to Autzen Stadium. All right. I've been to Jordan Hare. So you can throw your little Pac-12 stadiums out there and say, oh, Jordan Hare is not as loud. I've been to both. All right. Jordan Hare is louder. It is. I'm sorry. So it's fun back and forth. Our guy Thomas was saying if Cal loses, he's going to eat in and out. If Cal wins, he's going to also eat in and out. But what's crazy is my guy Thomas, if you're watching this, there's a place in Alabama called Whataburger.
I was about to say, I'm eating. Yeah.
It's way better than In-N-Out, my guy. All right. So get with us Saturday. Mama G's is going to be rocking Saturday. I'm so ready to be back. Man, we're going to have 88, 89, 90,000 strong up in there, and it is going to be bumping when the Cal Golden Bears make their entrance. And shout out to everybody in the chat rocking with that new intro, bro.
Yeah, man.
That's sick.
Yes, sir. Shout out to our guy Ike for putting together that new intro for us, man. Glad that y'all enjoyed it. And listen, before we get started, if you see me and Blake this weekend, don't be scared to walk up and say hi. Yep. I love to meet everybody. And, sometimes, Blake, I'll get back from a game and I'll have a DM that say, hey, man, I saw you at such and such, but I didn't want to walk up and bother you, and I get that. I totally get that. But don't be scared to walk up and say hi, man. I promise you're not going to be bothering me at all. And hell, me and Blake will be walking around doing some content. So you might even end up in some content if you walk up to us on Saturday and say what's up. So don't be scared to walk up and say hi, man. It's going to be a good time. So let's get into it, man. Well, we got a super chat. So before we do get into it, B. Will's forehead back up to his usual shenanigans, and I'm glad to see you back, brother. I've missed you. He said, we clapping bear cheeks Saturday, fellas. Clapping them cheeks. Well, when we get to the section, when we get to the last segment, B. Will's forehead, and we put our score predictions in, I want to see yours, brother.
Bro, I saw this one last night while I was watching the War Rapport, and I cracked up. I had a dip in. All right, I dipped Copenhagen Mint Long Cut, and when I read it, I almost spit my dip out, man. Like it got me, and it got me again tonight as soon as I got in here, and it was the first one right there. I was like, man, that's good stuff. So clapping the bear cheeks. Man, what a long flight back home too. Yeah. The Auburn Tigers.
Did you see our guy Bonner Supply? Did you see his tweet today?
No, what'd he say?
Yeah, go check it out. He posted a teddy bear that slowly gets lit on fire and burns, and it's like some lo-fi hip hop type vibes to it, like some kind of like chill like rap music, like hip hop little tone in the background. Is funny, man. It's pretty cool. I retweeted it. Man, everybody's having a good time out there.
What's crazy though is I feel like I feel like Cal fans don't know how to talk trash.
No, they're bad at it. They're trying. When you busting out the when you're bursting out the burner phone and the hooker jokes, even the SEC fans have moved on from that. Like we don't even
Yeah,
get that from Ole Miss and Bama fans anymore. Even they've got new material, but they're trying.
yeah, it's weird, man. It's just different group of folks out there, I guess. Different styles. So
Devin is not a fan of the Cal Bear mascot. He is a
yeah,
goofy. He is a goofy looking fella. He is a
it's
goofy looking.
wild.
Yeah, yeah. They may have picked him up out there, on them. There's some of them streets out there, one of them homeless camps out there in Los Angeles or something. They may have
Mm,
scooped him up because he looks like he's been doing a little bit of that fentanyl. But we'll leave that alone and we'll get into this. We'll get into the game, man. So the Cal Golden Bears 1-0 coming to Jordan Hare Stadium.
hmm
Be on ESPN if you're not going to be there. Yeah, Blake. So we'll just start right here with what we do every week. What do we want to see? And I'll go first, man.
hmm
And what I want to see is pretty simple here. Last week, everything went well, right?
Yep.
Uh, from start to finish, the game went pretty good. I'm at the very end. There was some turnovers, when you're up by 60, kind of whatever, right?
Yep.
For the most part, man, everything went well. And then because of how good everything went, you've seen the line move up a couple of points. I've seen some big predictions for Auburn to really win big. I can't really find anybody, even on the Cal side of things, that's predicting Cal to get a win. So at most, people are like saying it could be a 7 to 10 point game. So just what I want to see, Blake, is our young guys handle this.
Yeah.
One, I don't think that you're going to win the game 73-3. There's gonna be some adversity. The punter might have to come out a couple times. There might be turnovers when the game's still tight. Somebody might fumble. PT might throw an interception.
Yeah.
Hell, I was thinking today, dude, was Auburn hasn't missed a field goal in forever. That's not going
Yeah.
to continue to go. I don't know exactly what the count is, but I know that Alex didn't miss one last year, and we didn't miss one this week. Maybe we miss a couple field goals, and I'm not putting that out there, but maybe a field goal gets missed at the wrong time in the second quarter, and it keeps the game tight, and everyone's like, damn, kind of feeling in the stadium. What I'm saying is there's going to be some adversity. And spoiler alert, guys, I'm picking Auburn to win handily. Okay, we'll get to that. But I'm just saying, like, this game is not going to go the way last week's went when every play you pick. We're not playing this one on freshman mode, on EA 25, right? Like, there's going to be some things that happen. How does Auburn handle them after we do punt it 2 or 3 times? Does Cam Coleman and all these young cats, do they not get frustrated? Is the whole alignment and everything we've heard about PT for them more comfortable? That'll all show itself in that scenario. Is he able to calm the young cats down, rally the troops, and be that leader and get everything back on pace? So that's kind of the first thing I want to see. And then, like I mentioned, I not that I'm nervous, but Auburn lately, with everyone all week kind of predicting Auburn to get a win, hasn't really handled that great.
Yeah.
Right? Like handling any kind of hype hasn't been that great. We just haven't been good at it. And it's a young team again. So that's just kind of what I want to see, man. How does this young team respond to in-game adversity? And then how do they come out? Like just the overall, because if Auburn comes out here and is able to handle everything and do what we think they're going to do, Blake, I'm going to look at it as another sign that the culture is headed in the right direction.
hmm
Because if Auburn wins this game, if Auburn covers the spread in this game, I'm gonna take it like, okay, Auburn, we are taking that next step in the culture because this is just a game. It's just a situation for some of the reasons that I mentioned earlier, where in the last couple of years, Auburn comes out and just shits the bed and turns it over 2 or 3 times, and it's a close game in the fourth quarter when it shouldn't be. If that doesn't happen, if Auburn comes out and handles business and shows, hey, even with this young team, even with that line going up from like 11 to 13 and a half, in 1 week's time, and everyone kind of saying, you guys should blow them out. If they block out all that noise, go out there, execute, and perform, it'll make me feel good about just the culture of the team and where this thing's headed. So those are kind of some of the things, Blake, that I'm looking at.
Yeah. With having Thomas on and hearing everything about their offensive line and their defensive line and looking at their D line not recording a sack and having trouble against UC Davis
Mm-hmm.
in that interior has got me glaring at the Auburn front seven. It's got me absolutely hyped about another Malik Blockton type game. It's got me hyped for that front, that Jalen McLeod to get off the ball and go hurt somebody's feelings. You got Keyron Crawford out there, man, Trill Carter, Zacchaeus Walker, all those cats. Go eat. That's what I'm looking at Saturday. Go eat. This is a line that if you listen to Thomas the other night, he said, what did he say? Right guard, center, left guard, and you're rotating tackles. You're on mute. You're on mute, Dustin.
We got the short up on the channel. If y'all haven't
Yeah.
seen it, if you where he went through it, it's a list, man. I think it was 3 starting linemen. I know that. Wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, and then he said the 5th wide receiver is questionable. And
Yep.
then you got the situation with Ott, and the backup running back carried the ball one time and didn't come back.
Yeah. So in his first carry too,
Yeah.
fumbled in his first carry of his college career. So those are the things that I'm looking at. I'm also looking at our offensive line. This is a D line that doesn't seem like they're getting off the ball. They're not pressuring the quarterback. Can they stop the run? I felt like we ran it pretty good on them last year. We just had a big turnover in that game. If you remember that Cal game, man, when Damari fumbled, I just felt like all of the momentum, it just bam, complete 180. I mean, it just wasn't fun after that moment. And that's what I'm really looking at is, can Auburn run it down their throat? Auburn didn't show the run much last Saturday. Jarquez got the one carry, and then it was like, hey, just go behind the curtain, big dog. You got your tutter. Now get out of here and don't get hurt. So I'm just having trouble looking at Cal's defense and their defensive line and saying they're going to make life tough on Peyton Thorne, because I don't think they are. And I think Peyton's going to have some time to throw the football. And I think Auburn can run the ball on this Cal defense. So I'm looking up front. Tyler Johnson probably going to get another start. And,
Mm.
the Percy Lewis, we'll see how that goes. Are they going to rotate, or is Tyler Johnson going to stay in there at left tackle and all that stuff? Um, I want to see Auburn come out of the gate fast. I want to see. Now, I'm not talking about against Alabama A&M. All right, I'm talking about against an ACC foe. You
Mm-hmm.
come out. Like Dustin said, you've got all the momentum on your side. People are starting to chatter that this Auburn offense is different. People are starting to chatter that Auburn's got playmakers. PT's improved. I've seen graphics where they were like, who's the passing yard leaders in the SEC going into week 2, and it's Peyton Thorne at 2 behind Jackson Dart, and everybody's like, oh, you picked him to finish 16th and all this good stuff. Hey man, come out fast, making plays, securing the football. No turnovers like last year, no funky business like we had to go out there last year. You got us behind you Saturday. We're going to be rocking. I can go ahead and tell you, I'll be coming back to Mobile without a voice. All
Yeah,
right.
that's a fact.
I'm going to be losing it. I'm going to be just absolutely bananas in Section 38. So I will be there to watch PT hopefully put on another clinic. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's get in here and talk about keys to the game. What's gonna make the difference?
Mm,
I'm gonna go on the defensive side of the ball, dude. I
mm,
think it's gonna be first and second down defense.
mm.
I think that if we can get Cal in 3rd and 5 or longer, they're in trouble.
Yep.
And listen, I know that Thomas told us that the Justin Wilcox is pretty tight on the injuries, so some of those guys might play. Some of them might not. But
Yep.
are they 100%? And even if they are 100%, like, yeah, does Cal have the weapons to make the plays on 3rd and long on the road? Let's put Mendoza, their starting quarterback, in a situation that he hasn't been in.
Yep.
This is going to be the loudest stadium that he's ever been in. Like Blake said, I don't plan on having a voice by the second quarter. It has that big game feel. And look, I'm hungry. I'm hungry to see Auburn win a big game. I think I went 1-5, 1-4 last year, beat UMass, and then didn't see us win a game after that, right? And a lot of y'all didn't either if you were going to the game. So, yeah, and then listen, There's going to be a big flip in recruiting this weekend, at least one, like maybe more. But
Yep.
you flip the 5-star quarterback from Notre freaking Dame, dude, and then you beat the brakes off of Cal. Like it should be a really good weekend. But on the keys to the game, I just feel like you get them in third and long, and then Jalen McLeod, Keldrick Falk, they should be able to eat. I don't think that Cal has the weapons. They've got the injuries. They've got the questions on the offensive line. We should be able to get to him. I think that DJ kept it super vanilla last week. I think he's going to really turn it up and put pressure on the quarterback this week. So I just see an opportunity that where if you consistently keep them in third and long, I don't really see how they're successful. They might convert a couple of times, but I mean, you're just really going to put them in a bad spot. And over the course of 4 quarters, if you keep them in third and long, I think they're not gonna find success. And then I also would say you're going to get some turnovers that way. You put them in third and long multiple times, you're going to get a sack fumble. You're going to force a pick late in the game when they're trying to make something happen. So for me, it's all about first and second down defense because if you get them in third and long, then I think you're for sure going to eat and wreak some havoc in that scenario.
It's great points, Dustin. I would love to see Cal in third and long
Yes, for sure.
because I don't think they have the receivers to match up with our DBs on the back end of our defense, and I like DJ Durkin and what he's going to throw at this Cal offense. So my keys to the game are on Cal on the other side of the ball. Just talked about their receivers. Let's talk about their DBs. All right, can Cal's DBs cover Auburn's wide receivers? I don't think they can.
Hmm.
If you watch the game from Saturday against UC Davis, you see a couple of clips where Cal was struggling against UC Davis's wide receivers. So now you're going to give me a KLS, a Cam Coleman, Perry Thompson. I mean, Malcolm Simmons. Come on now. I
Yeah.
we're not even talking about Robert Lewis and Caleb Burton. I mean, I just think it's a bad mismatch for the Cal Bears, and I could be wrong. Knock on wood, baby. Like I hope I'm right, but I think it's a bad mismatch. I think it is not in Cal's favor with this receiving core. This is different weapons. I know I see you in the chat over there, my man Tim, talking about PT. I think that's a great point. I think you have to look at Peyton Thorne after everything he went through last year against Cal and that disastrous performance, having to throw a TD at the end of the game to squeak by a team that hasn't been relevant since Aaron Rodgers. I think you can throw a little bit on him and his performance. Can he get the ball to these guys? Can he make those throws downfield? Before we got on here, I was watch the film with Ike, and Ike he was breaking down a throw that PT he wasn't getting on PT because boy, I tell you, some people go at Ike just over some small stuff and blow it just way out of proportion. That's not even what he meant. All right, what he's saying on this clip is he's dissecting the play. Auburn runs a post, and PT was just a hair late. If you remember the play, it was in the first quarter. PT was just a smidge late.
The one to Malcolm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And DB comes over Malcolm and he knocks it down. All right. And all Ike's saying is if he puts that ball in between the hashes a half second earlier, before Malcolm even turns his head on the post, if he lets that ball go, that's a touchdown. That's the things I want to see. He made the right decision. He just didn't let it go quick enough. So I want to see against Cal's secondary, which I don't think they're going to be able to hold up against Auburn's receivers. I think Malcolm Simmons could sit somebody down in the chair this Saturday. He's that quick out in space. Dude's going to be fun to watch for the next 3 years. So, yeah, man, I just don't think Cal can hold up against Auburn. Not. I think last year was a fluke. I think it was a fluke. And we all know what Auburn had on the coaching staff, and now it's starting to play out where you're seeing this is probably a different team. And I think last year was just something where we didn't have our cards right, and we went out there. You're playing at 9:30 at night on the West Coast, tough. And this year they get to feel what we live in every day, and that's that Alabama heat. So let's get it on.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Real quick, guys, before I get to some of your comments, y'all know the deal. These memberships are popping, growing every day. Blake, talk to the people and tell them what they can get if they sign up.
Yeah, man, become a member over at the Uptempo Podcast. $3.99 a month, JV Squad. You can see everything listed there. If you want to up that, go to $5.99 a month, the Varsity Squad. This is where it gets good, y'all. Recruiting update videos. Dustin knocks out some really good commitment stuff, and we're going to high school football games on Friday nights. Game day group chat, that thing's popping. It's every day. Not only do we talk Auburn, but we also talk about life. It's just one big family. So it's not just Auburn football or Auburn sports. We talk about daily life in there, and we lift each other up each and every day. Gameplay with you. This is a big one because Dustin, I believe you got something tonight over on the War Report Gaming channel. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely, man. When we get done here, come over to the Warport Gaming channel. If you're not over there yet, you see the logo right here. That is just type in TWR, TWR Gaming into your search bar on YouTube. That'll be the logo. And as soon as we get done here, I'm gonna play Cal. So get over there, hang out with me. I'm gonna have the Chiefs game up on one TV, and I'm gonna be playing on the other. So get over there, hang out, man. We'll just talk some ball. Hopefully, I can kick Cal's ass and kind of get the vibes right.
Oh,
So yeah, man, get over there. And then I real quick, just in the name of transparency, guys, I am trying to get in to this Auburn High versus Opelika game. I got some people working on it, but I know I've been telling y'all all week I'm going to be there to look at Malik and all that. Listen, with the thunderstorms and everything, they moved a lot of the high school games in the area to tonight. Yep. So I was kind of waiting to see what the situation was going to be with that. And then about Tuesday afternoonish around lunch, I went to get the tickets and they're already sold out. So, and I didn't go through the proper media channels to get credentialed and go, because if I would have known that, then I would have just done that. So that's on me. I told our guy Thomas how big the game was, and hell, I thought that waiting 4 days out for a high school game was going to be okay. But no, sir, not in Auburn, Alabama, not when Opelika's coming to town. But I do got some people trying to get in there. If I can't get in there, hey, it is what it is. There's going to be a whole bunch of recruiting information that comes out anyway from this weekend, and we will definitely have a bunch of member pods popping off for you guys regardless. And then next weekend, I will be back to see Antonio Coleman, and then from there, probably going to get out to Loosedale. So I still got a whole bunch of trips lined up. If I'm not able to make it into the game Friday night, it will be the only Friday night this year that I am not at a high school game, because trust me, y'all, I'm trying my best. Y'all know me. It's eating at me. It's eating at me just thinking that I might not be able to get there and see that thing. So, yeah, man, memberships, sign up. Tons of elite content coming out, popping up. We're doing the damn thing. And then also merchandise over here on the warportshop.com. Hey, tell y'all what, if you come over here and hang out at the gaming channel with me tonight, I might just give one of these away, bro. I might just give one of these away. If you can prove to me that you were in this stream right here and in that stream, you might just get a t-shirt, man. We might give one away. Only one, though. No, I'm not saying if you come over there, you're automatically getting one. But come hang out and we'll see what happens, brother. All right. And then audio. Listen, audio, guys. If you're listening on audio, please leave a 5-star review. Subscribe over there. We are here at the Rapport Podcast Network pumping out a whole lot of audio content. Man, I got on there this morning, and Mike had like 5 or 6 episodes of the Auburn Express just pumped out. So just filling y'all up with content, man. So get over there, subscribe and all that as well. You'll know the deal here on YouTube. 73 in here, y'all, right now. And here's the deal. The analytics tell me and Blake, we can look at the analytics. They'll tell us that like 50% of the people that watch the show are not even subscribed. So help us out, man. It's free. Doesn't cost you a dime. Subscribe to the channel. And let's go over here and make these score predictions. Somebody's got Blake hype in the comments.
Nah, man. Stuart, let me... The great value Stanford, bro. I mean, throwing the slick shots, man. Stuart gets after it on Twitter. If you're not a follower of Stuart on Twitter, go follow him. He does great work over there, man. Always cutting up and having a good time on social media. Appreciate you, Stuart.
Yes, sir. All right, let's get to some of these comments before we get in here and make our predictions. Yeah, a lot of y'all started about the new intro. Glad that y'all enjoyed that. All right, let's see. Got some score predictions down here. Brett says, I want the crowd to be so loud and the team so physical that they never want to play us again. That's the goal. And I would say, I don't think that Cal is going to be scheduling anybody non-conference that's outside of the West Coast in the near future. They're probably going to try to get as many of their non-conference games as close to home as possible because they're already doing a whole lot of traveling.
Yeah.
Devin says, I thought about rewatching the Cal game from last year, but I decided I didn't want to be sad, so I just watched this beat down Alabama A&M again instead. I
Hmm.
feel you, Devin, and when we try to make our predictions and stuff, it's funny. Like in the summer, I get bored trying to watch football, and I go back and try to watch some of these teams. But like in the era of the portal and stuff, it's like I got Oklahoma as an example. I was trying to watch some Oklahoma games during the summer to kind of get a feel, and I watch them, and I'm like, it's just in this day and age, this is just a futile. Like this makes no sense. There's
Yeah.
half the team's different quarterback, everything else. So yeah, just watch the Alabama A&M game, Devin, because I had a blast. Pops getting in here and says he wants to see 200 plus on the ground, and he wants to see Chroma. You want to get Chroma and show him something that he wants to be a part of. Talking about the big 4-star running back that Auburn is trending for, 200 plus pound physical in between the tackle guys. They want to pair him up with Alvin. And look, I watched the game last Saturday with my pops, and as excited as everybody was for us throwing the ball around, I promise you, by about the third quarter, me and my dad were both like, kind of want to see you run the damn ball. But that's just that old school Auburn fan, man. We can't help it. That's just what we want to see. But I do think that you're going to see Auburn pound the rock this Saturday. So let's get into that, man, and make our predictions for the score this weekend, how we think the game is going to play out. I'm going to go 30-17. Blake went 38-17. My reasoning for 30-17, Blake, I just got us kicking a couple field goals. I think we're going to move the ball, but I just, maybe some stall out in the red zone. I know that Cal defense isn't great, but I do have some respect for their defensive coaching staff. I think that we'll get in the red zone some. I don't know, man. For some reason, I just expect us to make some mistakes. And I hope like y'all hear my tone of voice. I'm not even like upset about it. It's just I've said all summer that like it's a young team and all that kind of stuff. So I don't want to keep beating that dead horse. But like I don't know. I just have for some kind of reason I just think it's going to be a slow quarter to two quarters. It feels to me like halfway through the third quarter, Auburn should be up by more, but it could still be a tight game. And then it starts clicking, and Auburn kind of ends up pulling away. Or it plays out like the Vanderbilt game last year where Auburn's kind of always in control, and then Cal maybe gets in and scores one late or something. So, I'm going 30-17. I think the spread's still 13.5, so I'm right there on it. I think we'll be fine, man. I'm not worried about this game at all. I don't think there's ever going to be a moment in this game where we're really worried about it. And if so, then we might have some trouble going down the line. But yeah, I got 30-17, man.
I got 38-17. I'm not far off from you. Look, I think Auburn has success. The reason I'm not reaching out to the 40s and 50s like I've heard or saw on Twitter some of these score predictions is because Cal does hang their hat on defense. That's their identity over there, and that's the Justin Wilcox era, right? Is Cal defense? You play tough defense. You muster up enough points to win the football game. You find a way to win the football game, but you bring the defense. You bring the lunch pail. So I'm not going to reach out to those 40s. I'm going to stick at 38. I think we kick a field goal. I think this thing is tight. Into the second quarter, like around halftime, maybe Auburn scores going into half, gets a little bump in momentum, gets the ball coming out of half, and puts up another touchdown to kind of get it, 2-3 score lead right in there, and they kind of coast the rest of the way. I just think it's a bad matchup for Cal. I do. And I said it a while ago. Me hearing all the injury talk, and you've got 2 to 3 offensive linemen out. Your defensive line wasn't putting pressure on UC Davis's quarterback. I just think that's a recipe for disaster for Cal to walk in cross-country flight to one of the most hostile environments in college football and get a dub. I think you're going to see the Auburn offense show up, put on a performance, and we're all going to be partying at Toomer's right after. All right. And it's going to feel good because we finally get to look. I don't care what anybody says about it's Cal. All right. It's a big game for us. We got Arkansas in 2 weeks. We got New Mexico next week. Can't let a New Mexico State happen. All right. You got your eyes on this game. It's a massive game for us. So go win the damn game and take your tail to Toomer's Corner and celebrate it and enjoy it. And I think that's what the Auburn Tigers come Saturday do inside of Jordan Hare, and we're all going to be having a blast. I don't think you're going to see anything what you saw last year. Hold on to that football when we're running it this year. No fumbles. And Jarquez, have a big day. I'm not going for 200 this year. I did it last year. I'm not going for 200, but have a big day. Damari and Jeremiah, hope they get off as well. And I like the Auburn Tigers big.
Yeah, let's create some turnovers. No, didn't create any turnovers last week. But like I said, it was pretty vanilla game plan on defense. We all know that. So, but we can't lose a turnover margin in this one, 2-0, and I don't think we will. Let's get to some of you guys' score predictions before we get out of here. Please smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let's see. We got Bazoo says, I have Auburn winning. Yeah, I had to make sure I got that one right. Said, I have Auburn winning 38-6. Tiffany B says 45-13, good guys. Blake Patterson says, I want to see a little more from our secondary. Yeah, I think they're going to be obviously asked to do a little bit more than they did last weekend. Thomas Manville says, War Eagle, y'all, 34-17.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in the same ballpark, Thomas. I could definitely see it going out that way. Thomas Dunn's in the building, baby. Thomas says, guys, we know Dustin and Blake are predicting Cal to win. Yeah, you know better, Thomas. You know better, buddy.
One thing I want to say to Thomas is, man, like, we appreciate everything. And I think Brett said it the other night. We're gonna miss playing Cal because of you, Thomas. Like, because of you, man. Like, we enjoy you so much. You were always just extremely nice to us, man, and just getting right back to us when we asked if you could come on. And you have been one of those guests. I'll tell you what. One of my buddies texted me the other night after we got off, and he said, he said, I don't really like watching episodes where they do the crossover thing and other guys come on, because a lot of those dudes, they're like really arrogant towards their team, and that they just want to boost their team up and everything. And he said Thomas wasn't one of those guys. He still loves Cal, but he said he was one of those realistic guests where he was like, look, guys, Auburn's probably going to win the football game. Cal's a little beat up, and it took some of the juice out of it for me. So I just appreciate you being straight up, man. And you're a dang good guy, and I can't wait to meet you Saturday and us show you around one of the greatest places on earth, man, Auburn, Alabama.
Yeah, whenever an SEC fan base is in the comments and they all loved a guest from an opposing team, you did a good job, man. You did a good job. Auburn fans can get rabid, but no, man. Thomas was well received, and yeah, look forward to meeting you this weekend, Thomas. And like we talked about before, man, maybe in the future we can do some broader college football style content, maybe when the playoffs come up or something like that. We're going to find a way to do more recording with Thomas for sure. And he says, pleasure to be here. He flies out to ATL tomorrow and routes to the Plains, talking to Brett and Thomas. So if you see Thomas Dunn around, walk up to him, give him a War Eagle. And I want him to leave saying, man, I had a great time. And like B. Will's forehead said, but my Bears got clapped. Michael says, I think Hugh comes into this one with a vengeance and wants to show that he's running the offense now. Absolutely. Yeah. This could be a day where Hugh says, let me show you something. I'm going to dial him up. That 14 last year had nothing to do with me. And then Blake Patterson says 42-3.
Wow.
Oh, 42. Yeah, man. Come on now. Let's go. Thomas says, the pleasure's all mine. Can't wait to see you both this weekend. Absolutely. Bill Hayes with another prediction saying 34-10. Unless our backs have a great day, then look out. Yeah, I hear you. All right, guys, good episode today. We will be back Sunday with the review of hopefully what is a big-time win, man. So smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't. And we'll see you guys Sunday. If you see us this weekend, walk up and say, hey, I love all of y'all. It's War Damn Eagle, baby.
War Damn. NFL on tonight. Go watch it.
Yes, sir. Let's go.